If someone had told me 10 years ago that I'd one day start my own YouTube channel, I probably would have laughed. Because honestly, YouTube was just another pre-installed app on my phone, something I barely opened. At that time, I only used it for one reason: to watch Liverpool's match highlights. I'm a huge Liverpool fan, and since most Champions League matches are telecasted at 12:30 or 1:30 in the morning, I couldn't afford to stay up that late. I had office the next morning. So YouTube became my football companion. My midnight match replays the next day. That was it. No philosophy, no deep content, just goals, commentary, and Anfield cheers echoing through my earphones. But life has its way of surprising us, doesn't it? About 5 or 6 years ago, my YouTube usage completely changed. Not because I planned to, but because of something very practical. I decided to buy my first car. During COVID-19, when traveling by public transport felt risky and booking a taxi daily was just too expensive, I told myself it's time I get my own car. The only problem? I didn't know how to drive. And I had never bought a car before. So what did I do? Like millions of others, I went straight to YouTube. I searched everything. What to look for when buying your first car. Common mistakes first-time car buyers make. Manual versus automatic. Defensive driving for beginners. One of the channels that really helped me was My Car Helpline. Through videos like those, I learned not only what car to buy, but also how to drive safely and responsibly. After watching hundreds, maybe even thousands of videos, I finally bought my first car. I still remember that first drive, my friend sitting beside me, nervous but trying to look calm. He gave me a few tips, then smiled and said, "You can drive by yourself." And from the next day onwards, I drove to work alone. At that time, driving wasn't about enjoyment. It was about survival. But after 3 or 4 years, I began to enjoy the journey. Then came another phase, what I like to call my news obsession era. It started with Donald Trump. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't like him. I found him arrogant, narcissistic, and often, well, not very intelligent as a leader. So when YouTube started recommending videos about his policies, his speeches, his scandals, I couldn't resist. I watched everything: Jimmy Kimmel, CNN, MSNBC, Saturday Night Live. Basically anything that made fun of him or criticized his actions. I was hooked, not because I liked political chaos, but because I was fascinated by how the world reacts to leadership, both good and bad. Then came Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Like everyone, I was shocked, saddened, and glued to my screen. At first, I thought Russia would just take over quickly. But when Ukraine fought back, it became a story of courage. I started following channels like Jake Brew, Arthur Rehi, Denis Davidov, Anna from Ukraine, people who gave daily good and authentic updates. Every spare time during office hours, every night before bed, I'd watch. For almost 3 years, it became part of my routine. My wife jokingly asked me if I was going to Ukraine or if resolving the conflict was in my hand. But over time, I realized something. All that news, all that war footage, it was slowly filling me with anxiety and stress. I couldn't control what was happening out there, but it was controlling my peace of mind. So I began searching for something different, something peaceful. That's when I discovered ancient Stoic and Buddhist philosophies and self-motivation channels. I started watching videos about discipline, mindset, productivity, minimalism, and how to live with focus in a noisy world. And you know what? It changed me. I stopped watching things that made me angry or anxious. I started spending time on content that helped me grow. I learned that discipline beats talent, that peace is more valuable than attention, and that you don't need to know everything happening in the world, just the things that make your world better. Then came another big shift: investing. I always had small investments, PPF, RD, life insurance. But when I started investing in SIPS, my focus changed again. I began following finance creators, learning about personal wealth management, early retirement, and the psychology of money. Suddenly, YouTube became my university, my classroom for real life. I wasn't wasting time anymore. I was learning, reflecting, and applying. And that brings me to today. After years of watching, learning, and changing, I've decided to start my own channel. Because even though YouTube has everything, I often felt something missing, a grassroots perspective, a lens that captures real stories, local initiatives, unsung heroes, and ideas that connect us back to our communities. That's why I'm starting the Grassroots Lens. It's my way of bringing together everything I've learned from news, philosophy, and real-life experiences, and grounding it in stories that truly matter. Through this channel, I want to explore stories like the farmer who built his own forest, a village in Rajasthan that plants 111 trees for every girl born, a Naga village that defeated pollution, how Mizoram became India's most sustainable state, when tech meets tradition, how Gujarat's smartest village went eco-friendly, how a small village in Meghalaya became Asia's cleanest village, the biggest Jal Jeevan mission scam from a state. Now, I'm not saying these stories don't exist on YouTube, but rarely will you find them all in one place, told through a single lens, a grassroots lens. If these kinds of stories inspire you, stories of people, resilience, hope, and sustainable community, then please consider liking, subscribing, and joining me on this journey. I'll be uploading new videos every 1 or 2 weeks, and together, we'll discover how small communities are creating big changes, one story at a time. I'm not here to chase views or trends. I'm here to share, to understand, and to give something meaningful back to the platform that has given me so much. From watching match highlights to now documenting grassroots stories, it's been quite a journey. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there watching this will also find a reason to start something of their own. Thank you for listening to my story.